Hey guys, a few things before this video starts. One, I'm sorry about my hair. I'm actually currently editing the video that you're currently watching. But I just wanted to say this video is very different from the things I usually do. Obviously you can tell from the title of this video, it is a more serious topic, but I do try and make it a little bit lighthearted. So don't think you're going into this super depressing video. That's ironic that I use that word. But just know I try to keep it as upbeat as I can. And I just hope you enjoyed the video. It was really cool to make and it was really different. I know it's a lot different from the things I do. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and let you watch the video. And I will check back with you after.
The Centers for Disease Control says roughly 1 in 10 Americans today is depressed.
Seemed like everything but the face of someone who was troubled.
This has started a lot of conversation about depression in teens and what that might look like.
And is this because mental illness runs in our family?
He sees depression in children as young as 3.
Not joyful, who is not enjoying peers, is not enjoying play.
Studies show as many as 300,000 preschoolers have depression and are at risk of having it all through their lives.
From being the most outgoing, happy-go-lucky kid that you've ever seen, to all of a sudden they're recluse, they don't want to hang out with their friends.
All the celebrities, the people you follow on Instagram that appear to have the perfect life, they don't.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is arguably the world's biggest movie star. And with his celebrity platform bigger than it's ever been, Johnson has chosen to reveal his struggles with depression.
It's what's happening right now inside everybody is they're going, who am I? And they're depressed. You know, a lot of people because, why am I depressed? Why am I depressed? Why am I depressed?
Place to start. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You might have wondered what was with the very intense intro, or you might be wondering, hey Dom, don't you live in Florida? Why are you wearing a beanie and a flannel?
It is 91,000 damn degrees.
Dom, why do you look like you sell drugs at a high school?
So you want to sell me cocaine?
Yes.
Why don't you just come out and say that instead of dancing around?
Talked about it. Car on the way over.
And Dom, why you look like every pothead ever? I don't really have the answers to those questions, but I can tell you why we're here. Today I wanted to talk about an issue that I feel like is not really addressed in media correctly, nor is it really talked about in everyday life, and that is depression. Now I figured it'd be cool if I was able to research it and just be able to spread the word and figure out exactly, I don't like the sentence I'm saying. I thought it'd be really cool to really research and start to understand depression. Of course, before we start and get into before we get into any specifics, I feel like we really just need to I know what I'm trying to say, my mouth isn't following me. Before we dive into the research and before we go into anything specific, I feel like we really need to just get an overall basic definition of depression and define what it really is. There we go. Thank you. Now, Merriam-Webster defines depression as an act of depressing or a state of being depressed. Well, no, that doesn't help at all. But they also define it as a mood disorder marked especially by sadness, inactivity, difficult in thinking and concentration, a significant increase or decrease in appetite and time spent sleeping, feelings of dejection and hopelessness, and sometimes suicidal tendencies. Say that 10 times fast. Jesus. Now that's just the overall definition of depression, but there are different types of depression and they all differ. No shit, because they're different. But there are different types of depression that affect you in different ways. Alright, let's get into the different types of depression. Now there are many different types of depression, but there's really 7 main common ones. The first one I want to talk about is called major depressive disorder. MDD if you're lazy and you want it to be short. MDD is one of the most common types of depression. People most commonly refer to it as clinical depression. Some of the symptoms include depressed mood, lack of interest in activities normally enjoyed, changes in weight, changes in sleep, fatigue, feelings of worthlessness and guilt, difficulty concentrating, or thoughts of death and suicide. Now obviously, if you have MDD, you might not experience all of these symptoms. These are just some of the possible symptoms that you can experience. And usually a person diagnosed with MDD will experience many of these symptoms or just some of these symptoms for more than 2 weeks. The second one I want to talk talk about is another one that's really common, and it's called persistent depressive disorder. Persistent depressive disorder refers to a type of chronic depression present for more days than not, at least 2 years.
Hello, all you happy people.
Now, it can be a very mild feeling and show very mild symptoms, or it can be very severe. Now, a lot of the symptoms are similar to MDD. Third one I want to talk about is bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder characterized by periods of abnormally elevated mood known as mania. These periods of mania can be mild, or they can be so extreme as to cause marked impairment with a person's life, require hospitalization, or affect a person's sense of reality.
By what? What the is that?
It's manic depression, Mick.
It's like high highs followed by low lows over and over again.
In addition to a depressed mood, some of the symptoms may include fatigue and insomnia, unexplained aches and pains, hopelessness and loss of self-esteem, irritability and anxiety, indecision, and disorganization. Now, the risk of suicide in bipolar illness is 15 times greater than in the general population. Now, hallucinations can also occur in the more extreme cases.
There, everything's gonna be fine, you're all right.
I think I'm dying.
Number 4 is something that's really common, and it's postpartum depression. Now, as you can tell by the word, and as most of you know, only women can have this. Mainly because you have to give birth in order to experience postpartum depression, so that would make sense. Now, some of the symptoms include extreme sadness that can require medical treatment, all the way up to postpartum psychosis, a condition in which the mood episode is accompanied by confusion and hallucinations. Number 5 is seasonal affective disorder, which spells out sad. It does. It literally says sad. This is usually when you experience depression in the winter months. It usually only occurs in one season of the year. For example, you may feel perfectly fine in the spring, but when it comes to winter, you start feeling sad, you start feeling fatigued. Then you probably have what's known as seasonal affective disorder. Now, once again, this doesn't mean whenever winter comes, you just feel sad. This is talking about you actually feel depressed. Now, seasonal affective disorder is believed to be triggered by disturbance in the normal, I don't know how to say that word.
Normal circadian.
SAD is believed to be triggered by disturbance in the normal circadian rhythm of the body. Light entering through the eyes influences rhythm, and any season variation in night or day pattern can cause a disruption leading to depression. Oh no, we have low battery, we gotta go. As I pause. The next one we're going to talk about is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Now, some of the symptoms that can occur with PMDD are extreme fatigue, feeling sad, hopeless, or self-critical, severe feelings of stress or anxiety, mood swings, often with bouts of crying, irritability, inability to concentrate, or food cravings or binging. Now, the symptoms are very similar to PMS, but they're often a little bit more extreme. Perfect timing as I finish the sentence. And then the last one we're going to talk about is atypical depression. I'm going to say that again because I was looking at the fucking screen. The next one we're going to talk about is atypical depression. Oh, it starts off with just a question. It's literally like, do you experience signs of depression such as overeating, sleeping too much, or extreme sensitivity to rejection? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm atypically depressed. I don't want to film this video anymore. Now, atypical depression is characterized by a specific set of symptoms like excessive eating or weight gain, excessive sleep. Are you kidding me, Tony? Excessive sleep, fatigue, weaknesses, and feeling weighted down, intense sensitivity to rejection, or strong reactive moods. Hi, my name is Dom and I'm depressed. Now, despite the name being atypical, it's actually more common than the name suggests. And a little fun fact, unlike other forms of depression, people with atypical depression respond better to a type of antidepressant known as, monoamine oxidase inhibitor. Help me.
Monoamine oxidase.
Monoamine oxidase. Monoamine oxidase. I should just be like, known as, and then just put a voice recording of that. People with atypical depression respond better to a type of antidepressant known as
monoamine oxidase.
Alright, so those are the 7 most common types of depression. Obviously, there's way more, but again, those are the most common. That is what the word common means. They are common. God, I'm really not good at the speaking thing. I should just shut up. Now that we know the most common types of depression, we're going to look at the most common causes of depression. The scary thing about depression is it can affect anyone at any age. Why someone can become depressed really isn't an exact science. We use the little information that we know about the person to figure out why they may have become depressed but obviously there's no for sure answer. These are the most common known causes of depression. Genetics and biology. Twin adoption and family studies have linked depression to genetics. Researchers aren't entirely certain if that has a play in if you become depressed or not, but it's definitely an idea. Most researchers suspect that having parents or siblings with depression may be a risk factor. Brain chemistry imbalance. Depression is believed to be caused by an imbalance in the neurotransmitters, which are involved in mood regulation. Now, neurotransmitters are chemical substances which help different areas of the brain communicate with each other. When certain neurotransmitters are in short supply, this may lead to the symptoms we recognize as clinical depression. Female sex hormones. It has been widely documented that women suffer from major depression about twice as often as men. Basically, women are more susceptible to depression, especially because of their hormones, and when their hormones are going crazy, there tends to be more of a chance that there could be an imbalance causing depression. Poor nutrition. I don't know what you're talking about. I eat healthy. A poor diet can contribute to depression in several ways. A variety of vitamin and mineral deficiencies are known to cause symptoms of depression. So pretty much if your diet sucks, you have a better chance of getting depression. That's why they always tell you to eat healthy whenever you're sad. I do not follow that. That explains a lot. Physical health problems. Now obviously the mind and the body are linked. So obviously if you're experiencing a physical health problem, you may discover changes in your mental health as well. Drugs. Drugs are not good for depression, and sometimes even prescription drugs can trigger depression or just worsen the depression. Stressful life event. If you experience a stressful life event called situational depression, which you are just depressed in that moment because of a specific event. Now that we've discussed different types of depression and the common causes of depression, we're gonna go over ways that you can cope with your depression if you are depressed. The first change that you can make is changes in your lifestyle. Now your lifestyle can affect your mood in so many different ways. Now changing your lifestyle could be the change that you need to change your mood. I feel like I said change a lot. Some people think of this as a natural antidepressant. Number 2, talk to a therapist. Now having someone to talk to, especially someone that you know won't judge you, and especially that it's their job not to judge you, can help, because sometimes getting things off your chest can really relieve that stress and can actually help your depression. It may not make it completely go away, but it can definitely help in those times. And also, just because you talk to a therapist does not mean something's wrong with you. Therapy can help anyone. Anyone can get help through therapy, and therapy can really improve anyone's life. Expressing yourself in writing. Kind of the same principle as talking to a therapist. Expressing yourself through things like writing music, writing in a journal, can really let you unleash that stress and make you feel better as if you're getting it off your chest. Boosting your self-image. Basically, it's just as simple as if you look good, you feel good. So changing your self-image and improving it can definitely make you feel better in those times where you're really feeling down. Getting a good night's sleep. That thing that I do not do. I am very bad at that. But when you're feeling down, sometimes a good night's sleep can definitely boost your morale and give you the much needed energy to kind of battle that depression. Depression is very exhausting, so getting some energy can definitely help. And making good life choices like exercising and eating the right meals can definitely help. That's actually been scientifically proven. That can definitely help. Trust me on that one.
Did anyone catch how many times I said definitely help?
Now my next point I want to make is what to do if you know someone that's depressed. So pretty much if you are not depressed but you know someone that is, you're wondering what can you do. One of the main things that you can do is just be there for that person and just understand the fact that you do not understand what they are going through. One of the biggest triggers that you can ever say to someone suffering through depression is I understand. During that time they are not in the right mental state to really grasp logic, so you really have to just be there for them. Kind of let them complain, try and force them out and force them to have a good time and to be around people, because being alone when you're depressed sometimes isn't the best thing. That being said, you also have to learn how to give them their space. Sometimes all they need is that time alone to really reflect and to really relax, because it could be also triggered by anxiety. And if they need help, just help them and just know that they are not being sad for absolutely no reason. They're not wanting to be sad. This is just what they are going through, and you just need to be there and understand that. Those are some ways that I've looked up that other people have said have helped their depression. But there are days that I really do feel down. I may have atypical depression, I don't really know. There are days that I just feel absolutely exhausted for no reason. There are days that I feel completely down on myself, again for absolutely no reason. I just feel really down on myself at the current moment. I don't really know why. I don't really have a reason why I'm feeling like this. This just happens and I'm kind of used to it. I just kind of like feel lost a little bit. I just don't feel like my best. Does that make sense? Like I just don't really have energy really to do much right now. Like honestly, I should be editing the next video, but I really just don't have the energy to. The video you're currently watching, I should be editing that and just don't feel like it's good enough. I know that sounds stupid, but it's just like where my head's at right now. Like if you can like see like right behind me, I haven't even put my laundry away. I just don't feel up to it at the current moment. To just not really feel yourself and to feel really down on yourself for no reason, and you know there's no reason. Like I'm really scared that my videos like aren't good enough, my music isn't good. I'm not really worried because I know this feeling passes. This is just how I'm feeling at the moment. I know when I wake up tomorrow I'll feel fine. This is awful. Some ways that I really combat that feeling is I force myself out to go out with friends. Hanging out with my friends is one of my favorite things to do, and honestly can change my mood and make me do a complete 180. Writing music has really helped my creative expression, which definitely can combat those days where I'm feeling completely down. It lets me just let the stress out. Hey, sometimes I come up with some really cool stuff when I'm really feeling down. Another thing I do is, it's not healthy to do this all the time, but sometimes I just like to take a day to myself to just lay in bed and watch TV when I'm feeling down. I obviously don't let myself continue to do that because that isn't healthy, but sometimes you really just need to be sad for those little moments. And maybe one day they will find a for sure cure for depression, but for right now, this is all we got. All we can do is try to live life to the fullest and just try and be happy and positive and try to bring positivity to the ones around us. Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're wondering why it cut like that, it's because I really don't like the outro that I did. Alright guys, I will catch you in the next video. That was very painful to watch, and I'm sorry that I put you through that. But obviously, I know this video was very different, and I know it dealt with some serious topics, and I just wanted to say that I am in no way an expert on this subject. I used a site called verywellmind.com for a lot of my research. Now obviously the internet isn't a good place to get all of your research, so if you're feeling depressed or if you know someone that's feeling depressed, please do your research and don't just use my video as a reference. Like I said at the beginning, this is just a place to start. I know I keep saying this, but I know it's a lot different from the things that I do. I really want to do more things like this that deal with more serious topics and research it and try to get the word out. And don't worry, next week a really upbeat and very stupid video is coming, and I'm very excited for it. Of course, please try and share this information. You don't even have to share my video, just look up information on depression and just try and share it, because I feel like we really need to get the word out about it. It's something that I feel like is not discussed enough. I know I said that in the video, but anyway guys, please be sure to like and subscribe because I make new videos every week. At least I try to. Kind of failed recently.
I'm trying my hardest.
But anyway guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and if you're going through it right now, just try and stay positive. Alright guys, I'm gonna finish editing this video, and